Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I am Renuka and I hope you are having crafty days going on. Today we are creating some cards with my monthly hero kit, and now there are some tricks and tips on the way. I want to show you that how I created different backgrounds with this, but you can go ahead and create this background for any kind of card you want to create. So here I am using a matte texture paste here, and this is the one of the Eco Park stencil, and I'm using all the 3 inks which came in a kit, and I'm mixing them in a little bit part. You can see me, I don't like to use a plastic palette knife for this. I mostly use my steel palette knife for these things. And then I already colored this type of background, and I'm going in the same way. I'm using a yellow, orange and green or teal blue color, kind of mixing those texture paste on the background, so it gonna give me tone untone effect rather than going a white or clear. And then gonna pick the background ink color also. So look at this background, it's so beautiful, I love it. And you can create this in number of times and with the different colors also. If you don't have this ink, you can use the distress oxide or distress inks, or any other ink will do. Then I just creating a simple background. Here I am using 2 colors to create a nice subtle look. I'm using the yellow color and pink color, came in a kit. I'm using the same sponge daubers which I use for my distress inks, and I'm going really light-handedly here, but I am fasting this process like 5.7 times, so it will look like that. And you can see that I got there smudge, but don't worry, I'm okay with that. Then after this I just decided to add little bit subtle background to it. So I want to use embossing paint by Rangers, and this came in a set of 2. You will get a one white and the clear one, the white like the clear one and the black one. We're gonna use both of them. So first of all I dust the anti-static powder here, and then I'm using a ruler scale. It's called the parallel ruler scale, and then I'm with the help of it creating these lines on it, and then I will emboss it with the clear embossing powder. And you can use a white also, but I like the look of clear, so I decided to go ahead with that. I wanted a really subtle and kind of very soothing pastel color card, and that's why I do that. So now here we are creating lots of background first, and then we're going to use and turn those background into the cards. I always show the process the way I do, so you can get some more time and you can see through the process that how you can get much from your time. So now for the next one, I just rub all those colors on the watercolor paper. Here I'm using Bristol watercolor cardstock, and I'm just rubbing those ink cube directly. So this is the nice way to use your ink cubes. Then I'm again using the anti-static powder, because this is also the water-based ink like a distress markers, so you make it ink sticky while using embossing pen. Now here you can create a number of patterns. I want to go a little bit gradient way here, and you can create a little bit small tick 10 dots there. And I'm using here black embossing pen, but if you don't comfortable with it, you can go ahead and use the clear and use the black embossing powder with that. But black embossing pen and black embossing powder will give you flawless look, because if you miss something, it's gonna hide that. I hope that tricks work for you. And this is the second background I created. And now for the next one, I use the watercolor effects here, and I'm using the paintbrush here to just kind of getting the droplet and drop effect on it. Just make sure that you don't get much muddy, don't go too much overlapping with your colors. Then I splatter a little bit of the same ink and tab excess whatever I don't want there, and then kind of giving little bit direction to that color by adding the plain water. And then I'm using here the heat gun and just separate all those things. And you can see that the texture background I get in the other effect there with the black lines, and so I decided to get more plain background. So I'm using here just a brush and a water, and that gonna mix really nicely, and those lines not gonna fade because we already heat embossed them. you can create more designs and the kind of focal image or folk art there. And then for the next one, now you can see that there is one more paper with me, and this is the paper where I use the same stencil, but before that I spritz with the blue mist from the Hero Arts, which came in the previous kit, and then I just decided to add little bit of texture paste on one side and then a little bit of color on the other side. We will not use the textured one, but we'll use the color one. Now here's the stencil, and you can see that I'm directly putting the color there, and then I'm using these papers. Now color choices are totally depend on you, what you like. Most of the times I like the vibrant colors. I'm a fan of rainbow colors, so most of the times you see the lot of bright colors in my work. After this, you can get a lot and lots of kind of texture background from that, and then lastly I use the same stencil to create more texture on the panel we created before. Now there is another way to create the panel, although I didn't make the card from this panel. I just want to show you that you can get more from backgrounds from your these stamps, and there are lots of tiny stamps which I didn't use yet. If time permits, I will show you more cards. So there, this is the background I created, and you can add a red, a donkey or llama, whatever does that with that thing. Now I just stamping the images, most of the images from the kit with the VersaFine ink on my Bristol Smooth white watercolor cardstock, cause as I'm decided to use the watercolors. So again I'm using the same ink cubes, the same colors. I'm just mixing and matching them to create more colors in there. I want to create these flowers for those background, the subtle background. I decided to create a Mother's Day card with that, and then I just picking those colors and putting them on the block so I can see and grab them very nicely, and then I'm just coloring once all those images. This is my go-to way of doing the work. I make backgrounds at one lot, I make colors at one lot, and then I'm kind of mix matching them, and sometimes it didn't work for me, so I keep those background with me and use those images for the another projects. It also happens with me, but most of the times there is something in my mind, or it's kind of depend on my mood that what colors I'm gonna use, so I use the same color for the background and the images. And here it's not tricky, it's really simple. You have only those 3 ink cubes, so whatever you are using on your background, the same colors you are using on these coloring palettes. Although I'm not turning everything into the card, but I'll show you all the coloring here. I just go a little bit out of the camera there, and I have to focus a little bit, and then I just color all these images by mixing and matching those colors. Nothing fancy, it's very simple. If you want the shimmery, you can use your shimmer pen. Here I'm using the same, and you can use the Nuvo paints, or you can use the Spectrum Nora pens, and anything a shimmery pen will do. Nothing fancy, or you can color it and you can put the shimmer afterwards, or if you want to do more technique with it, you can put a shimmery water mist rather than putting the water, so you will get the shimmery color. So it's totally up to you how you want to go. I just want to show you a couple of techniques that how we're going to do this, and you can see that I'm using this guitar and everything, but most of the times I didn't have that much time to convert everything into card or show them, so maybe the next video, the part 3, I don't know I'm going to use that or not. But yeah, I have a couple of ideas and it is sitting on my desk, so let's see how it works. And then I just use this steel Fiesta ink, kind of bluish ink, to color that snake and little bit of those critters there for the cacti, cactus, and all those images. And at this time I know what I'm doing because I already have my backgrounds with me. Now this is the leftover piece from my die cut out frames. This is the golden cardstock, and then I just want to show you that how you can create a stand for it by using it, and you can put any image there, or you can put a happy anniversary, happy birthday, or you can just put happy there, and you can write anything inside according to occasion. But this time I decided to create this card for Mother's Day, so I just cut out those things, put those golden strip there, cut out the excess, add a little bit more color wherever I feel, and then I just give more dimension by adding the orange die cut out, the same die cut out with it, and then I'm double it up the foam tape, and then I'm gonna put those kind of in eccentric position more to the right of my card. It's like a rule of third, if you know that. And then I'm just putting a little bit lesser thickness foam dots to put my flowers there. I'm kind of arranging them, and that's gonna match very nicely because the colors are same. And then here's the card, and you can add the ribbon to this card which came in a kit. I decided to add this Happy Mother's Day, the white one, because I have this my stash. But if you don't have it, you can just stamp Hot Mama or Happy Mother's Day or Happy, and just heat white emboss it, and that's gonna look also beautiful. And I'm using some Nuvo drops here, which is the Grail Crystal drops, and it's gonna look a really nice effect on that. And this is a really subtle card I really like. In the real life it looks more beautiful than in the photos, so I hope you like this, and you can turn it into anything. Now for the next one, there is one trick I want to show you here, although I didn't convert into card. Here I'm created my Polaroid frame with the help of the last stitch rectangle and the square die. But I will not use that, but you can use that image and just create put some cacti in between, and you will get a nice card, and you can stamp anything you want as a sentiment. And for particular this card, I just split those beautiful backgrounds in two, so I can get two cards. And here I'm just assembling the things and seeing that how it gonna work or how it gonna look. I'm not the person who can always show you this is the one card, do this process, this is the second card, do this process. It's feel more robotic in my way. The more artistic way to go with it is I'll show you the whole process, that how I do the things and how that work for me, so maybe you will find your own way to do your things. Process is always important because you may learn many things in the process, and you may like some things in those process that you can apply to your project. So then I just add a little bit of shadow of that green color cardstock, and then I just create a little hill there to put my cactus on there. And then I'm just kind of putting there, just want to put three. Yeah, three looks always nice. 3 or 5 odd numbers always wins. And then this kit also came with looking sharp sentiment. I just stamped that with the Wasaphine ink, and then I want more texture to add it. So here I'm using the 3D colors or Nuvo drops, and you can see that those gonna look really nice, and in real life they are have a little bit more shimmer than it looks in the photos. So for the next one, and you can grab the little more image here, you can see more images on my blog and bigger images, so you will get more definite nicer idea than these photos. Now for the next one, you remember that the background we created with the watercolor paper and the watercolor techniques, so we're going to use that with the snake. And this is the die I have with the flag one. I already listed that in the description below, and you can see on my blog also. But if you don't have that, Hero Art provides that nice die with banner dies or with the flurry images as an add-on, so you can use that. So this is quite a simple one. I just raised a little bit of that panel and just adding couple of it banners there, and for that I'm using that mulberry paper which came in a kit. And then it's just kind of a pretty simple card by adding a little bit of sentiment there. this one I want to put that mouse there, and I kind of adding little bit more shimmer and glitter by adding the golden paper there, the golden banner there. And I don't want to color him, I just want to give him a very subtle look, so I use the golden and silver shimmery paint to fill and little bit of color for his coat. And I'm using for that the watercolor papers. Although the card is very simple, in real life it is like a sparkly and shimmery. So this is the thing, when you have too much going on background and if something wants to stand out, before that you can keep it white or keep it simple rather than make it too much complicated. So this is quite a simple card, nothing fancy, but yeah, it's, you can mass produce this card also. So for the next one, I'm again cutting this background in a 2, and I'm kind of creating a 3 similar cards. Process will be the same. It's like the frame and the 3 backgrounds with it, and I want to stamp that image for that. But for the next one, I just kind of creating here the mixing and matching the cards. So I'm just creating this combination and adding the all that fancy big die. I just want to create a small Mother's Day cards, but then I decided I will not stamp the Mother's Day sentiment in that, so I can use it any occasion. I'm just using the paper combinations here and piercing them and then kind of folding it. Nothing fancy, very simple card, but I hope you're gonna give it a try. the next one, as I said before, I want to create 3 similar cards and using those backgrounds and those images. So I want to use that hot mama sentiment, so I'm stamping this dancing with a beautiful kind of maxi and flower on her head, the mice, and she's looking very whimsical to me. And then I add lots of colors, different colors which kind of matching with my background. And for one of the card I add the action wobbler, so she's like the dancing, and for other two I keep it simple. So it is quite a simple one, nothing fancy. I hope you likes today's card series and idea. Let me know what you want to see more from my side. I will try to. And yeah, I am little bit late on schedule on YouTube, but I hope you understand that. I still not posted any video with the ice cream theme cards with the scrapping book, scrapping for less, and I didn't yet post the another series which I want to start it for the Mother's Day. So yeah, I will show you a couple of more cards in that manner, but let me know if you want to see more such things, and if you like the how I make the background, give it a thumbs up to my channel, subscribe to it. If you like my ideas, if you want to see more photos, you can go to my blog, and you can follow me on my social network media. And until the next crafty project, have a crafty life. Bye bye, take care.